The Oklahoma governor debate is today in Oklahoma City. We're live with team coverage. Plus, what President Biden says he's doing to lower gas prices, and find out how long this cold weather sticks around. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Parker Abels.
And I'm Cameron Joyner. We begin tonight with the first and only governor's debate between Republican incumbent Kevin Stitt and Democrat Joy Hoffmeister. The two will square off in a debate in Oklahoma City. The OU Nightly team has team coverage.
OU Nightly's Purpura and Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche is live outside Will Rogers Theater with a preview of the issues. Guys, what are the hot topics for tonight?
Cameron, Parker, we are less than an hour away from the start of the debate here at the Will Rogers Theater in Oklahoma City.
And this race has probably been one of the most competitive we've seen in recent years. According to Real Clear Politics, now with a little under a month until Election Day, they're reporting this race as a toss-up. That's a stark difference.
Polls from Monday are favoring Hoffmeister. Sooner poll estimates she will get about 46% of the vote. Stitt will get 43%, and 6% of people are undecided.
Ascend Action polls is the most significant difference of 7 points, with Hoffmeister at 49% and Stitt at 42%, with 8% undecided.
Amber Integrated polls is the tightest race of all three, with 46% of the vote for Hoffmeister and 45% for Stitt, with 5% undecided.
Now, we talked with a political analyst about what these polls really mean.
He says they are all pointing to the same conclusion.
If you take one poll by itself, it can be, an outlier, but there are several polls that show this a closer. The only poll that's out there that I've seen that says it's not a close race is the governor's own internal polls, which they made public.
We are here with News 9 reporter Storm Jones.
Now, he'll be moderating tonight's event. And Storm, what are we going to be looking at? What are some of the hot issues you'll be talking about tonight with the governor and the challenger, Joy Hoffmeister?
Yeah, we're very excited to have OU Nightly joining us as a streaming partner tonight. The debate begins at 5:30. Now, nondoc.com's Trey Savage and I will be moderating this debate. This is our 10th debate we've done this year. And we're really looking, of course, both Joy Hoffmeister and Governor Kevin Stitt have records as state superintendent and governor, so we'll be questioning them on their records. Also, quite a bit of state scandal has happened over the past couple years, and so we'll be talking about those. A lot of topics that folks can probably imagine will be discussed tonight, will be among the top on the list.
So can you tell us, what is the value of having a debate? Sometimes these state-level debates, they say, may not be worth it.
Yeah, so Trace and I have done 10 debates again this year, everything from a district attorney all the way up to the governor, corporation commissioner, attorney general. We really believe in the value of public debates, and whether, it looks like one candidate is going to win by a landslide or it's neck and neck like this race, we really believe in the value of having elected officials come and tell their voters, their constituents, what they believe and where they're at on certain topics, and as well as answering for their record over the previous term maybe as well.
So, it wasn't that long ago that Nine actually had a little bit of a rift with Stitt, just trying to get this debate solid. Can you kind of tell us, I think he actually said that y'all almost threatened him to try and get him to do this.
So it's actually two separate debates. So Trace and I have been doing our debate series. Tonight's debate is sponsored by the State Chamber of Commerce. Griffin Communications did effort a debate with the governor and Joy Hoffmeister that would have aired live on News on 6 and News 9 across the state. Unfortunately, that debate didn't happen, but this debate tonight it is streaming live on news9.com and the News 9 app. It can also be watched on C-SPAN across the country. But unfortunately, the on-air debate didn't work out, but we hope that the governor and state superintendent do other debates ahead of the election. There's still time for other folks to pick up some debates as well.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Storm. Thank you so much. Now, if you want to watch it, like Storm said just a minute ago, you can watch it on News 9's website or Facebook, on NonDoc's Facebook, or C-SPAN's website or cable channel.
We'll be kicking off at 5:30, and you can also catch it on the OU Nightly Facebook page. Live in Oklahoma City, I'm Purpura.
And I'm Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche, OU Nightly.
Some great team coverage from Pepper and Dacoda. We'll be checking back in with them a little later, but the other big story tonight, an early fall cold front.
Yeah, the Sooners woke up freezing temperatures. OU Nightly's Catherine Liberta is live from the perfect place on a fall day like today. She joins us now with the first look at the forecast.
That's right, it is the perfect place for a fall day. We've got a nice cool breeze, I've got my jacket on, and we've got plenty of pumpkins here at the McFarland Pumpkin Patch. Now, while we are currently not as cold as we were this morning we saw our first freeze of the year. We're sitting in the 60s right now here in Norman, but out on the Panhandle and Guyman, they're sitting in the 80s, so we can start to see that warmer air is moving into our area here in Norman, and that warm air is going to stick with us for the next couple of days and into this weekend. But the big story is going to be our record temperatures. This morning we saw that record cold temperature at 28 degrees here in Norman, but this weekend we could be reaching those record high temperatures. Now that's not good for these pumpkins. If you're thinking about carving a pumpkin, you're going to wait until next week because we're going to see a cool front come through, and that heat is going to cause those pumpkins to rot. So wait until next week when we have that cold front come through, and Colton Williams will have the timing on that in just a few moments. But for right now, I'm going to go grab myself a pumpkin and maybe bring one to you guys back in the studio.
Thanks, Catherine. I could definitely use a pumpkin, but Russia is using new tactics in its war against Ukraine. Zoe Watson has that and the rest of today's international headlines from the News Center.
Thanks, Cameron. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is holding crisis meetings to find ways to avert the threat of a nationwide blackout. Russia has carried out attacks against Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Zelensky says Russia destroyed around 30% of its power plants since October 10th. Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, had power cuts on Tuesday after another round of attacks. President Joe Biden and his administration revealed new plans to combat what you pay at the pump. The war in Ukraine, along with the organization of petroleum exporting countries, the recent decision to cut oil production has created doubt in the U.S. The administration hopes the release of 15 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to lower prices. The IRS will let Americans keep more of their income next year thanks to inflation. The standard deduction, which is the base income people can claim tax-free, will see the largest increase since 1985. Tax rates are automatically adjusted for inflation, so there will be a higher standard deduction and higher cutoffs for all 7 income tax brackets. And Walmart announced today all U.S. locations will be closed on Thanksgiving. On my favorite holiday, Black Friday, doors will be open at 5 a.m. Cameron Parker, I'll plan to be the first in line.
Oh, well, I'll be as far away as I can.
I have to agree with that. I do not participate in Black Friday.
Well, thanks, Zoe. Coming up, a fire is sweeping over Chickasaw.
We'll tell you what the fire department has to say about that. And we'll talk about how you can limit CO2 emissions by using electric cars when we come back. Welcome back to OU Nightly. A fire in Chickasha continues to burn. Bailey Coyle has that and more in Earth Report.
Thanks, Cameron. Yeah, over in Grady County, a commercial fire is still ablaze. The fire is burning at the H&B Machine and Manufacturing Facility in the Chickasha. The Grady County Fire Department along with the Cato County Fire Department are on the scene now. An official said that the state's Department of Environmental Quality is heading there to join the state's fire marshal. Also, the Oklahoma State's Bureau of Investigation is on scene. And the Treasury Department announced it will assess how extreme weather is impacting the cost of insurance. For the first time ever, the Federal Insurance Office is using its authority in requesting zip code level data from U.S. insurance companies. And although insurance companies are regulated at the state level, the data could be used to determine if changes need to be made. And thanks to electric vehicles, we can all breathe a little easier. Carbon dioxide emissions from the burning of fossil fuels are expected to rise less than 1% this year. The International Energy Agency released a report showing CO2 emissions are on track to increase by 30 million metric tons. This is noticeably less of an increase compared to last year's 2 billion tons. And animal rebellion protesters poured milk on grocery store floors across the UK. Cameron and Parker, I'm sure glad I don't have to clean that mess up.
Thanks, Bailey. I'm sure we're glad about that too. Well, the weather is cooling down as we get deeper into October.
Yeah, Colton, what should we be expecting out there?
Yeah, hey, we had record cold coming on this morning. Before then, this weekend, talking about record hot temperatures. As well as some rain coming up. I'm going to have all the details on that coming up in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back to OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us. I'm Colton Williams. Woke up to some frigid conditions out there this morning. Looked at temperatures in the upper 20s, and that was the first time this year we hit anywhere below freezing, and that's going to tie the 7th place all-time on record for earliest time we've hit freezing. Got to go all the way back to 1952, early October, but this morning hit a record low, set a record low here in Oklahoma City at 28 degrees, and now, again, we're not going to be dealing with a whole lot of record-breaking temperatures coming up the next couple of days, at least in terms of cold temperatures. Now this morning, you find a harder place, colder than Oklahoma City this morning, sitting at 28. It was cooler in Oklahoma City than it was in Billings, Montana. Now we had a big area of some frigid air here across the middle part of the U.S., but elsewhere, again, Oklahoma City was about as cool as it gets this morning. Now this afternoon had a quick warm up, back up into the middle 60s now. Lots of sunshine, good looking shot there from our campus cam here on the South Oval. A southerly breeze, okay, so now across the state, we've been replaced with 60s and 70s for most of us. You get 70s and 80s out west, where we get 50s and 60s here in the central part of Oklahoma, and the far east, a couple upper 50s once again. But overall, pleasant fall day here across Oklahoma here. And as we head into tonight, it's going to be, again, a chilly night, but again, nowhere near those upper 20s. We will have clear skies. The southerly breeze is going to help keep us in the middle to lower 40s across most of the state tonight. Before then, tomorrow we're going to get back into a quick warm-up. Lots of sunshine. Tomorrow is going to be slightly above average, middle to upper 70s for tomorrow. Before then, the pattern change comes on as we go throughout the next couple of days. So right now, it's really a tale of two halves, all right? We got the jet stream split in the U.S. right down the middle. Cooler weather to the east, warmer to the west. Even a little bit of snow going on in the Great Lakes region, far southeastern Canada. Now coming up the next couple of days, jet stream's going to shift here a little bit, going to bring in the chance for a nice warm-up here in Oklahoma Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, looking at some near record temperatures Saturday and Sunday. Before then, here's our next cold front. This next low pressure system, that's going to move in here as we go throughout the early part of next week. That's going to bring in a nice blast of some more cold air, as well as some rain chances coming in early next week, and that's going to kick our warm-up out the door into early next week. Replace it with some cold air, hopefully leave behind just a little bit of rain. Now this weekend, above average temperatures, dry vegetation, ongoing drought, looking at elevated fire risk here for Friday and Saturday, approaching near critical on Sunday. It'll be highest in the west and the northwest. Still something to keep an eye on. Now, those rain chances coming on early next week will be less out to the west, more here as we go into eastern Oklahoma. Really looking about ½ an inch to potentially even 3/4 of an inch up and down I-35. Got to head out to eastern Oklahoma to find an inch or more as we go into early next week. All right, now again, as we round out October, Oklahoma really looking mostly normal, maybe the chance to be slightly below average out in the west. But as again, we head into this weekend, talk about temperatures in the 80s. Cold front arrives Sunday and into Monday, bringing on storm chances. This time next week, looking at temperatures in the middle 60s. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Colton. Well, the NBA returned last night, and tonight the Oklahoma City are making their season debut.
Speaking of basketball, our Stone Weber is in Kansas City with a report on OU men's basketball. Stone?
We just wrapped up here at Big 12 basketball tip-off, and we got a chance to catch up with Oklahoma head coach Porter Moser. Find out what he had to say about the upcoming season next.
Hi, I'm Sydney Bush, and it's time for sports. OU Nightly Stone Weber is in Kansas City bringing you the latest from the Big 12 basketball media days.
Coming off of a 19-16 season last year under first-year head coach Porter Moser, Oklahoma men's basketball is poised to make the NCAA tournament after coming up short last year.
But our mentality is like, we got to let's not get on that line. And you listen to Jalen, listen to Tanner. They're his brother and the two. they got a chip on their shoulder. They don't want that feeling like we watched Selection Sunday last year and didn't see our name come up. And it's not only that, I mean, we want to be better than just getting it.
Porter Moser's squad will kick off year 2 November 7th against Sam Houston State at the Lloyd Noble Center. Reporting from T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Stone Weber, OU Nightly.
Today, 2 OU women's basketball players were nominated for the Player of the Year awards in their respective positions. Sharpshooting guard and three-point record holder Taylor Robertson is nominated for the 4th year in a row. And nominated back-to-back seasons, forward Maddie Williams is on the watch list as well. OU men's golf is on a roll. They have been dominating Big 12 match play after putting off Kansas, West Virginia, and Baylor. The Sooners are now in the championship after winning this morning's Bedlam match. They are currently down to Texas Tech. Oklahoma women's volleyball is home tonight at 6 p.m. to take on Kansas State after a pair of losses last week. The Sooners are 6-2 at home and 3-3 away, hoping to gain their first conference win on the road at TCU on Friday. In a highly anticipated season opener, the Minnesota Timberwolves are hosting the Thunder tonight, tipping off at 7 p.m. After sitting out all of preseason due to injury, star guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will hit the court tonight to defend the Minnesota multi-prong offense. Tuesday's opening night of the NBA did not disappoint, with Steph Curry and LeBron James facing off in San Francisco. The Warriors were riding high after claiming their championship rings. And while LA was looking to steal their joy, Golden State finished on top 123-109. I bet that after party was fun. Parker, Cameron, back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. Now we're going to go to Pepper and Dacoda one more time about what to expect at the upcoming debate.
When we come back, we're going to tell you where and when you can watch.
I'm Victoria Anderson at the OU Nightly Update Desk. After 26 years, the case of Kristen Smart has been closed. The 19-year-old college student disappeared from her dorm room in 1996. Yesterday, a jury found her former classmate, Ruben Flores, guilty of first-degree murder. Smart's family is hoping to finally find peace. Cameron, Parker, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Victoria. Well, it's fall and the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago is taking advantage.
The zoo fed many of their animals pumpkins to celebrate the season, and they loved it. I mean, look at how cute they are eating their pumpkins.
Man, I'm not much of a pumpkin guy myself, but those animals are making me want to give a pumpkin spice latte another try.
You really should. Pumpkin spice lattes are the best.
Well, we want to head out to Will Rogers Theater in Oklahoma City again for another check on the crowd gathering for the governor's debate.
Let's go live to OU Nightly's Purpura and Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche.
Cameron, Parker, we've already seen a lot of supporters out here showing up for the event, here to show support. We actually hear some of them in the background chanting in support of their side.
Yeah, they're out here because there are a lot of hot topics tonight that have been discussed for a couple of months, even a year here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, education, inflation, 2 of those really big hot topics, as well as tribal issues.
Yeah, so if you want to watch tonight's live stream, you can tune in on News 9's website or Facebook page. You can go to Non-Doc's Facebook page, or you can go to C-SPAN's website or cable channel.
You'll also have access to it on our OU Nightly Facebook page.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting here. We're going to have a recap tomorrow of the events from tonight. Pepper and I will both be doing stories for tomorrow's newscast at 4:30. Reporting in Oklahoma City, I'm Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche.
And I'm Pepper Purpura, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Pepper and Dacoda, for keeping us updated on this upcoming debate. And remember, that debate starts at 5:30, and we'll have access to the stream on the OU Nightly Facebook page.
And before we go, let's get one last look at the weather. Colton, what's it looking like?
Yeah, as we round out the month of October here, again, we had some record-breaking cold this morning. As we head throughout the end of the month, we're going to be hanging out really normal to below normal, really maybe far western Oklahoma. See a couple days below average, but overall be average here as we go throughout the end of the month. but really means upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the end of October. So overall, not looking at a bunch of record-breaking heat after this weekend. Again, this is as we end the month of October, headed towards Halloween. All right, now thank the cold front this morning, because this weed allergy has been through the roof the last few weeks. Cold front this morning knocked it all the way down to a low-end medium. Next couple of days, this may rise again, but as we kind of steady out here over the next several days, this is really going to keep holding on down here in these lower levels. And again, it completely knocked out the grass allergy as we went throughout the last several days. So the cold front today did a lot of work for a lot of allergy sufferers out there, including myself. All right, now as we go into this weekend, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 70s tomorrow. Again, we'll quickly return to the 80s for Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. Sunday going to be very windy, winds gusting to 40 to 50. Cold front will roll through for Monday. That'll bring showers and storm chances. We'll steady out in the 60s by this time next week.
Thanks, Colton. The governor's debate again starts 30 minutes from now.
Be sure to watch live on OU Nightly's Facebook.
That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for watching. Catch us live weekdays at 4:30. I'm Cameron Joyner.
And I'm Parker Abels. Good night.